Welcome, welcome everyone. Excited to have everyone on the call today. Today we have a very, very special guest, one of my favorite people in Life Answers, Carrie, and one of Carrie, mine and Carrie's favorite people in Life Answers, Jill Pearson, just because she truly has a heart of gold and what she says she means. And she's just so amazing. And I've been blessed to know her from the beginning, her and Gabe and her, wonderful husband, Gabe, that we love. And Jill, I had forgotten, but she had 15 years in video production before LifeVantage. And I knew she worked with, their company. They had a wellness company. So she was kind of the manager in the back end, taking everything, taking care of everything, 10 years of that. So 25 years of corporate America, let's say, in your own business, actually, for 10 years. And this was like a totally different business for you guys to get into. And I know, wrap your head around. And she'll probably tell you like a short version of her story, but she got involved a little bit before Carrie and I got involved, but that was when we had that bad economy 10 years ago, right? Their wellness industry went like to zero almost. So this was such a blessing for them. So Jill, I'm going to turn it over to you. And these are our beautiful leaders that we have here, part of them so they're excited to hear from you.
I love seeing everybody's face. Some of you guys are offline a little bit, but it's good to see everybody. And thank you again for inviting me. And in fact, I'll never ever forget. I actually get misty-eyed. Gabe flew home from teaching at Premier School in Arizona. He goes, "Oh my gosh, I met the most amazing women, Carrie and Maria Williams." And he just raved and raved and raved. And I believe they were pro fives at the time, or they were budding to be. And he's like, he just would not stop talking about them. And so to be on this call today is just incredible. I'll never forget another story of uh, your fearless leader's tenacity. And she had a list, and I'm sure you've heard the story of the list of 100 at least, and she got to like the 99th person, and then finally she enrolled, someone she could run with. And that's what we were looking for in the beginning. We're those leaders like each and every one of you on this call today. So let me tell you, you have an incredible leader on this line. Whatever she says, do it. She knows from experience. I know we've been together almost 11 years, if not, is it about 11 or
Yeah,
10?
11 years for Carrie and I in July.
Oh my
Carrie's on there too.
God.
She's on
Oh,
here.
Carrie, I didn't see you. Where are you? Maybe you're on the, but both of you.
I'm here. I'm driving. We love you, Jill.
I mean, I could go on like for the whole time about their incredible leadership, how we've each grown together, locking arms and creating a vision for thousands around the globe. And before I got on today, I said, Gabe, he's in the other room. He's behind me right now. But I said, for some reason, I don't have a speaker view. Let me get a speaker view. It's
Oh,
not getting speaker view. But anyway, I'm seeing Carrie driving. But anyway, Gabe's in the back, and I said, Gabe, this is what we're doing tonight. What can we do? What can we impart on them? So I'd actually like you guys to open up your mics a little bit, and I want to hear, what do you guys want out of this? Or if you're taking notes, I want you to go, Jill, I want to hit pro 10, or I want to have that 2,000 extra dollars, like, what are you guys looking for? And so number one, we've got to be super clear on what we're looking for. And then, I'm not going to go into a lot of my story. I have stories threaded through, but write down right now what you want out of this. Have you thought about it lately? And then I want to challenge you. Can you 2x that business? So if your business is looking like 50,000 in group revenue right now, let's 2x that. And you go, like, think about how you felt when I said that, right? Or if you have 100,000 in revenue, how do we 2x that? Or let's stretch a little further. Jill, I know I can 10x my business. And your heart probably did you get a little tight maybe even when I said it? So what does that mean when you're getting tight, even on a 2X? Do we have some self-limiting beliefs possibly, right? If you felt that tight, I even got a little tightness in my chest when I said I want to 10X my business. But listen to this. Oftentimes I say I want a $60 million business, right? A 60, group volume, right? That's the kind of vision I have. But when I said, okay, if I actually put it to pen to paper, how did you feel? So what do you want out of this? Are you clear on that? Because are you happy where your revenue or your volume is right now? And if not, if the answer is no, then what do we have to do? We have to help some more people, right? We have to come from the heart and help some more people. This business, our eyes are off ourselves, and we have to help a lot of people. Carrie, I keep seeing your face is like full. Can we take that off where I can even, let's see, gallery. Oh, I got gallery now. Hold on. Full screen. I can't get it off. All right.
I got a couple people that can't get in, so I'm texting back and forth.
Maybe you can just turn off your video and that'll help me a little bit. That's so crazy how it's doing that. Is it doing it to you guys or am I full screen?
I'm seeing you on full screen.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. It's not doing it for me. But so first we have to, and I know you guys all know the basics of this, but how activity is key. And we've probably been hammered on that fact. But I do want to share one little story about activity. I'm not going to go into the basic principles of network marketing, but I want you to think about, we went halfway up the compensation plan. We hit Pro 5 in 30 days. It was like the world record, right, at LifeVantage when we got started. But we didn't move. We're not allowed to use the word stuck. We were challenged, right, for a year. So how did we go from that? So number one, we were clear where we were going, but we didn't have that skill set needed to go to that Pro 6 position. So our mentor flew in, and he's tough. He's like more like Gabe. And he said probably some bad words in there, but he said, Gabe, why don't you just do what you did the first 30 days of your business? And it was like the lights, the clouds parted. And so that goes back to the activity. Are you really engaging in that same activity that took you to your current positions? Because I understand we're talking to the leadership on this phone call, the leadership of LifeVantage. You're literally leading thousands of people around the globe. All right. So I need you to think even bigger right now. So number one, we may have to go back and do that same activity we did in the beginning to continue to find the leadership that Maria found, right? When she catapulted to that next rank, when she found that one leader after 100 phone calls, right? So we may, each of us, even me included, to take my business to that $60 million or 60 in group volume, right? To have the kind of 10X I'm looking for, or that number that's on your paper. Now, the other piece is I want you to think even bigger. Now, I want you to ask yourself, am I leading product heavy or opportunity heavy? I'm not saying one is better than the other, but I want you to remember that building a network of business distributorships, of business owners, of like-minded people is going to build your network faster. We're all each going to have 10 customers, but is your customer going to build a global business? No. So we're looking for, this is who I'm looking for. Every day I say I'm looking for someone who's open-minded, is entrepreneur mindset, ownership mindset, people who have an amazing energy, right? So ask yourself, how are you leading? I say, hey, listen, are you open? You're an incredible individual. You have great communication skills. You're the #1 in sales. Are you open to looking for something? I'd be remiss if I didn't share this incredible opportunity with you. Do you have 5 minutes? Can you look at a video right now? So that's the basics. Those are some foundational things I want you to think about that might be causing a lid on your business, a lid of leadership, of taking you from one level to the next. The next, I want to share a story. So I wasn't as clear as my husband. I had been hit hard by that economy, had a couple kids, 6 and 9. I probably been pretty grinded down. I was having anxiety attacks over all of this. My just major slice of life was happening to me at the time we heard about this opportunity. I was closed-minded, small thinker, could barely put one foot in front of the other. Wasn't really clear. All those things I'm telling you, I was not there until we actually had an opportunity to help a news anchor in Jacksonville, Florida, doing all the activity I just talked to you about, leading more with the enormity of the opportunity because of the groundbreaking product, no competition, leading the globe, first to market. And we're looking for people like you to hold on to our coattails. Do you see I'm speaking in vision? Professionals speak in terms of vision. So this woman, we gave her a choice to retire in 11 months, right? And I remember thinking to myself, wow, this is what network marketing can do. And a light switch flipped, right? We use that analogy, right? I flipped the switch. So think about this. And at that moment, one of the key moments is I realized that what I do, and when my vision grew of connecting and making an impact around the globe, that we literally are giving a gift of hope. We have a responsibility, a much bigger purpose. Each and every one of us has a much bigger purpose than just, hey, you got to be on these pills, right? And when I walk into large groups, sometimes I hear these messages of, oh, this helped my this disease and that disease, which we shouldn't even be doing anyway. This is way bigger, you guys. This is way bigger. So I want you to think about how you're leading your teams, whether you have a team of 2, 3, 5, 10, 20. How are you speaking to them in terms of, are you building vision to move them, to influence them, to impact their lives? I had some key words I wanted to share with you. Are you teaching them how to think, your teams? Like I'm doing right now, I'm trying to get you to move from point A to B in terms of your leadership. Are you clear on where you're taking your team? Are you teaching them how to think bigger than who they are currently, that they can be more and do more and impact lives? Are you challenging them to grow and stretch? And are you, most importantly, are you being the role model, right? You hear that. Are you leading by example? Now, this was tough. This was a tough one for me and I'm still, every day I work on this skill of influencing and leading others. And, could it be kind of scary, right? I remember the first time I had to do a 3-way phone call, right? That's the first step, right? Being the third party on a phone call. And you're like, well, I got that, Jill, I got that, but I had to be super clear, right, on where I was going with that phone call. And once I had that clarity and that intention of why I was on that phone call, it became easier, right? So some of you may still struggle or push your team away because not that you don't want to help, but you don't have your clarity on the most basic skill levels. So what's the objective of that call? Ask yourself, what's the intention of the call? How do I want to show up with enthusiasm, right? And so those are things you can ask yourself on the most basic leadership skills to being in front of the room, right? How do I want to leave this group, whether I'm training or whether I'm sharing a presentation? What's the objective? What's, you can go back to your corporate days, right? What's the objective? Well, it's true. What's the intention? How do you want to leave them? Are you asking those questions? Because you're having to influence whether it's the team, other people who are joining your community, right? But don't make it rocket scientists. This is 7 basic skills of network marketing. And how are you going to show up? And what I find is fear, and maybe I'm taking an absolute on this, and I wish I could have a conversation with you about this, but are you are you letting fear trap you, imprison you? Jill, no, I got this. But go back to your goals. Are you 2xing your business? Are you 10xing your business this year? Do you see clearly that you can do that? If not, it's not going to happen. Gabe, for example, he's visual, and he saw the 10 hologram in front of him. He was way more advanced than I was, but he saw that 10 pin hologram in front of him. And he never lost sight of it till we hit Pro 10. For me, what drives me is more the heart. I step into fear for you. I go beyond what I go to the edge, feels like you're going to jump and you're kind of scared, but I'll jump for you. And I do that with different strategies. So I'm going to leave you with a few of these strategies. Number one, that first one that came to mind just now is I set a deadline for myself. So an audience and a deadline. So corporate says, Jill, you want to do this? Yes, I'll do it. I got a drop dead deadline. Now you may not have corporate knocking on your door, but you have, each one of you on this phone call has a team. Now, they may not even ask you to do a meeting for them or a training, but you could set an artificial deadline and go, hey, listen, Susie, let's do a training Thursday night at 7 on how to invite, right? So think about this. All of you, I'm assuming, know the 7 basic skills of network marketing, the databasing, connection, the invite, etc. So, but let me ask you now, can you teach each and every one of those aspects of our business? Can you teach them? I work with a neurologist. He's like a life coach for me, because think about it, you guys, you and I, all of us on this call are working at peak levels. All of you are in the top 5% of network marketing, really. So what are you doing to make those little tweaks? Think about, even Tiger Woods has some of the best coaches on the planet, right? So we talk, and I use the big phrase, prepare, practice, and present, have literally changed me. I mean, Maria, I'm sure, and Carrie have seen me completely change, but I still have so much work to do. But I'm saying those 3 things have changed my life. And we can make that a longer list of to-dos, but preparing. I have 3 books I'm reading right now on leadership, practicing. So I actually put together, if on the most basic level, can you put together a little training on how to invite? There's YouTube videos all over the place on how to invite. Put together that little practice it in the backyard. I'm not saying you have to do it to the team, but then go, hey, Susie, let's go ahead. Let's practice. I want to share how to invite. And it's going to change you completely. Or a little talk on mindset or being clear on where you're going. My neurologist calls it C1, doctors, this is actually a saying for doctors because they have to move so quickly and learn so quickly because things are rapidly changing. Even in our industry here, you probably feel it. If you've been around for any number of years, you can feel our business changing almost like every day. Like I feel anxious that I'm constantly behind. Do you feel like that, Maria? Constantly behind. So we see one, a doctor will say, see one, do one, teach one. All right. See one, do one, teach one. So it's like the 3 Ps. I call it the 3 Ps are imperative to help move you through this law of leadership. You're having to break through to 2x or 10x your business. Okay. I'm trying to stretch the rubber band on you guys a little bit. All right. So we can get to the 2x and the 10x. If you can do what you've already done, you can 2x your business. Now, some things I want you to consider is you go, Jill, I just don't know what it is that's stopping me. So if you know how to teach all those elements of network marketing, all those skills, what's the next thing you could do? Like I said, teach different pieces, how to do social media, leadership. Social media, just remember, don't let that distract you. Especially if you've been around a while, that's just another way to connect with people. We're still connecting in the grocery store, the gyms, one-on-one, those just another way to connect with more people. Don't get that all bogged down and don't let that stop you build your business. Okay. It's just, I'm learning a new way to connect like I might in a grocery store. Okay. So start to separate that out. I think I have a sneaky suspicion that might stop us a little bit and stop some of our momentum. I'm trying to get us to create some momentum. So one of my strategies I've learned over the years is I want you to look in the mirror. I do a lot of mirror work. Well, I'm off and on like you guys too, but it'll reflect almost instantly back at you what your fears are and what your self-limiting beliefs about yourself and what you're doing. And so we can identify it fairly quickly. So you say something like, and take notes down, say, my biggest fear of leading my team is what? For me, it's letting you guys down, right? Even when I'm on this call with Maria, right? I don't want to let her down. So that can stop us in our tracks and keep us trapped in our fear and not have us jump over the edge. And so we're not getting the activity done. And we may not be perfect, right? I may not be perfect on this call, but I'm getting it done, right? I'm connecting with you. And my main purpose is what? To connect and make an impact. Let that, your purpose, drive you through the fear. Let your purpose mow down the forest so you can see clearly. But it's got to be strong enough, you guys. And that's why they're like, oh, your why has to make you cry. Well, maybe it's the $2,200 we wanted to earn to get started, right? Or maybe it's the bigger vision I have, right? Of connecting and truly making an impact. We have the 3, the read, do, teach, prepare, practice, and present. What I find I'm really kind of ADD, I'm all over the map, is I want you to keep the main thing the main thing. We're doing the likes on Facebook, are those revenue generating activities? They're important. Recognition is important for revenue, driving revenue and recognizing. But remember, my husband says, who talks to the most people wins in this game, right? So are you talking to the most people? And we go back to how I started this whole thing. Do we kind of have to start over where we started over and what got us to that Pro 4 position or the Pro 5 position and get back into that activity mode to find the next set of leaders? And you may not like to hear this, but one of our mentors said to us and I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer, but the same group that got us to Pro 5 is not the same group that got us to Pro 7, are not the same leaders that got us to Pro 9 and to Pro 10. And they're maybe not the same leaders that are going to get us to 11. But when we're tap rooting, when we're driving deep into those organizations, overcoming our own fears, we're going to find the next set of leadership in the lives we're going to change, because somebody's going to want this. And we're going to continue to impact lives. And I want to leave you with something, with a story. You know, I've had a lot of life this year. And I tend to go, when I have a lot of life, I'm an introvert and I tend to go into my cave. My dad got very ill. I was kind of his caretaker for about 5 years after my mom passed. And I know each and every one of you on this line today has their own challenges, maybe your own health challenges, maybe your own hardships that are much more than what I'm going to share with you. And I think we go through all these so we can empathize and resonate with each other and lift each other up and be there for each other. That's what Life Vantage is about. And so he ended up passing in July, and we had to clear out the house, which he never let me touch. So it was like my mother had passed as well. So I had to go through all her belongings. Meantime, one of my relatives wanted to fight the state. And so you're constantly having life happen. And you got to know, so life's happening. You know, I make a decent paycheck, right? And, you know, what's going to drive me to show up on this Zoom call, right? What's going to drive you to show up when life's still happening? The kids are screaming at you. You might work that 9-to-5 job, or, you know, it's stretching past that, right? And that's how we began this whole journey, was with no cash flow basically, and nothing, you know, except all of you, each one of you, and a vision. So this neurologist, who's like the life coach, you know, he's like, Jill, you know, what's going to be your legacy now? You know, what are you going to contribute? You know, because, right, I could stop, right? You know, the insides are crumbling a little bit. It's hard to get online, probably depressed, right, at some level. You know, what's going to be your legacy? So my question to you is, what's going to be your legacy? Are you, as the leadership of Life Vantage, just not Maria and Carrie's team? I need you to start expanding your thinking now. What's your legacy, your personal legacy? What's your legacy to Life Vantage? What's your legacy to the people's lives you're going to impact from this moment forward? That's the opportunity each and every one of you have right here, right now. You have something so enormous in your hands. It's not just a little golden yellow pill. Yes, that's our differentiator. You have a global business that can literally impact thousands, hundreds of thousands of lives, if not millions. Not talking just about your own life forever change, but millions. So my question to you, to 10x your business, how are you going to have to show up? What's your intention? What's the objective? Whose life are you going to change today? And let's start with one, and start with one tomorrow, okay? And with that, you guys have a big mission. And together, I want you guys each to work together and do the work that needs to happen. You're going to have to be able to teach those basic principles and know and work on that you know, that ambiguous growth piece they talk about. So every time you look in the mirror and go, what is it that I need to work on? Or you feel that tightness in your chest, identify it, clear it, read about it, study it, and then what? Teach it. All right. That's how you're going to have those major breakthroughs. You guys are in great hands with these, call them the sisters, you know, they are incredible leaders. I'm in awe and I'm an honor to work with them. And just, I got goosebumps and you guys just are amazing. I'm just thankful to be on this call today. Love you all.
Thank you so much, Jill. When you said 10x, right? I thought, okay, what do I want? I want $5 million legs. And then I
Right?
had to get my calculator out because I'm not the numbers person. I went 5 times 12. Oh, I want a $60 million business. Like Jill, I get what she was saying. Carrie already had it probably calculated the second you said it. And it took me a while. Like I work backwards and then I was like, oh, okay, I want a $60 million business too.
Yeah. And to actually write it and believe it takes, it takes so much belief in yourself and what we're doing. You almost have to come out of your body. Okay. So whatever it's going to take, the hologram, the bigger purpose, it takes, and so that's why we hammer you about the growth and development piece. I have to share one more story. I meant to actually share it real quick, and I get so excited. I actually had like 10 hours worth of training here, but I was talking to a leader the other day, and I said, I can identify what some challenges of her team are. And I said, there's this amazing book. I was making a book recommendation, and she goes, I don't read, Jill. And I was like, oh, so yeah. So no. So anyway, so ask yourself, are you hearing the messages from your coaches? Listen carefully to what people are saying and start asking yourself more questions, okay? To have those breakthroughs we need to have this year. You don't want to be left behind. Hold on to Maria and Carrie's coattails and let's make this happen. Okay.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for taking the time last minute. I'm so sorry, but
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I took a page of notes and I have to go back to the beginning because you said some things that I want to write down that I was just listening and I'm like, no, I got to start writing this down. Thank you so much. Such a blessing. Carrie and I are thrilled. Carrie?
Yes, thank you, Jill. Oh my gosh, I just love listening to you. You and Gabe both. You guys know how much we love you. But yeah, I was a few minutes behind in the car, and the minute I got home, I'm taking all these notes, and I'm like, I got to go back to the first few minutes to be able to write as well. But thank you, and I do. I think that's so critical for people to really, 2x, 10x their vision, and then who do they need to become to do that? Just absolutely.
Well
Massive. And you're in our thoughts and prayers as well, so we love you, Jill.
I'm back.
Yay.
Love you guys.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
So team, with the Lead Academy coming in with what Jill's message is, who can you think of that you want to invite? Like that should be your number one goal this week, is to really, any name that pops into your head, just say, hey, even if you're going to be just at home, right? Invite some friends, tell them that it's mindset stuff, right? It's personal development. In our conferences, we always talk about the business and we tie it into the business, but honestly, what people teach can be applied to anything, can be applied to life. So if you invite some people that you'd like to have in your business, say, hey, come on over, it'll be personal development. Like I said, it'll be mindset stuff. It'll be all kinds of stuff that you can apply to your business as you listen to it, right? So, and then go back to those people that have said they are interested in the business and say, look, we're going to have quarterly events, but we haven't had an event since last October. It was phenomenal. Come and join us for this one. Come in here, come and see the community, right? People are looking for community. Come and see the community, come and see the vision, come and see the people that have, made it to the top, and listen to their stories and connect with them, right? Invite people, find find their need and find a way to connect them, but keep inviting to the last minute to come and watch the event with you, because one person, I always say this, one person can change it all. And like the story she said, Carrie and I, 100 calls, right? And then that one person changed it all. It was like a domino effect, once Pam Gordon got in, and then it was my next leader, and then my next leader, and then it just started flowing and happening. But we had done what a lot of people do in 5 years. I had shrunk into like 3-4 months, because it took me 4 months to find my first runner. Thousands and thousands of people that I had reached out to already. I mean, I literally believe I reached out to 1,000 people in those 4 months because I had the time. So it's different, right? Um, so glad. Carrie, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, just two things, just like Maria's saying. I mean, you guys, this is the week to invite like a banshee. I keep talking to people and saying that, and they're like, oh, I reached out to this one or these two, but I'm like, two? Like, no, what are you not understanding? Like, this should be like all hands on deck going through, right? Contact after contact after contact. Who can you follow up on? Who, and reach out to see who you can. And then I loved what Jill was talking about at first. You guys all got to the rank that you're at, right? By busting your chops to get this off the ground. I mean, and bottom line, that's what you got to go back to if you're not there. Like, we all need fresh new people. So because we all need fresh new people, it's a totally different experience when you get to watch Elite Academy with somebody brand new or that could be interested in the business. So, bust your chops this week to see who else you can get to that, and then go from there. But that's what I would really focus on this week.
That's it, folks. We are excited for you. One thing you said, Carrie, and so did Jill, and I was thinking about this the other day, is that you all have signed up a distributor. You all have signed up a customer, right? So everyone on here has at least one distributor, one person they've talked to, right? So the point is, you've enrolled people. This business is nothing different. How Carrie and I got here is we kept talking and kept reaching out. I love what Stu said last week was invite and follow up. That's it. So the skill set you already have, it is not any different. It's the same skill set. You're connecting with people, you're reaching out, you're showing them the opportunity, you're telling them about it, and you're seeing if it's for them or not. No, next. So it could happen within 1,000 people you talk to. It could happen within 2,000, 5,000, or 10,000. Who knows, right? Who knows where it's going to happen? I do believe that the more you change your mindset, the more you change your belief in yourself, that you can do this, that you can be an elite and start seeing yourself as that elite. I really believe the more that you focus on that, and that you just make this personal commitment to yourself, that you are going to be an elite distributor. Like, really take some time, that mirror work, look in the mirror and say, I am an elite distributor for LifeVantage. And what feelings do you feel? Write them down, right? Really look in that mirror and say, why can't I do it? And I know I'm looking at like all of you here, and I know you've done training. I know you've signed up someone and you've done training, but like Jill said, it's the group that we start with isn't the group that's going to get us to the next level. It's who they bring on that you connect with that brings you to that next level. And then the same thing, the people that they bring on that you connect with. It's about us connecting deep in our organizations. Carrie and I know, we know the runners in our organization, like tippity top, way at the bottom, 20, 30 level. I don't know how many levels we're at. I haven't checked lately, but we know who's running. We know who's running because those leaders have connected us with those runners, right? We've seen them at an event and they've connected with us. I mean, we see the work they're doing, and then they end up here, right? So we see who these runners are and who they are. We know our team. So just keep doing what you've done, but change the belief in you, change the mindset in you. Like really, really feel it in your heart. Like I am an elite, I am elite material. I am an elite material. Find whatever, when it happens to you, Carrie, like I know you can remember this, like the feeling like, hey, we're elites. Like we are really going to be elites, right? When that feeling comes, it's incredible because then the magic happens afterwards. It's like you just know that it's happening and that you have, I mean, to me, lots of times was looking at other elites and saying, well, if they can do it, I can do it, right? Not putting them down, but it's like they're just people like us that learned this, right? Gabe and Jill had no experience in this at all, but they learned the system, and Jill took a little bit longer to really get on board here, but they learned what had to be done and they kept doing it and they kept believing in that vision. The more that you believe, like she said, we still have the biggest opportunity of a lifetime. Anytime we get someone from a different network marketing company that comes into ours, they are in awe of everything we have set up. The product is just hands down, right? The compensation plan, they say, is amazing, simple to understand. It's not a complicated compensation plan and pays very well. So when they look at those, 5 tiers, in the company, publicly traded, all those things, they tell us that we have an amazing opportunity like they've never had before. So you can be proud of what we have when you talk to people, even though they may push back or put this industry down or whatever. It's like, just ask them where that comes from. Like, why do they think the way they think, or why are they saying what they're saying? Because I guess if you dig, you'll see that they really don't understand it and get it. And we have something so enormous here, and we just want all of you to partake in it with us.
One thing you said to me, Maria,
Carrie, one more thing before I forget. I'm going to mission this year that I'm looking at all your faces that are on here. I want you guys to rank advance, and I'm committing to you. I will do whatever it takes to help you, because I really, really want this for you guys this year. Like, I'm making a commitment to you guys. It is time. I'm looking at your faces, and it's time that you guys rank advance. Right? You figure it out, what's holding you back, and you move. You got to figure out what's your fear, what is holding you back. I want you all to rank advance. Go, Carrie.
It doesn't really follow that well. Yes, we love each and every one of you. And I do think, like how Jill had said, if you don't see yourself 2xing it or 10xing it, then you're not going to get there, right? Which is why the mindset piece is so hard or so big. But then as Maria was saying, like, we knew all those people. I was just telling this story the other day to somebody that when I was going for Pro 8, I remember talking to Ryan Thompson, like one of our old vice presidents, and, we were looking at different things. I mean, late that last day of the month. And he's like, well, depends on, you got to be so far over depending on what returns you have coming in. And I'm like, no, I've literally like had conversations like with all of these people. I mean, and I just remember him being blown away that I literally knew like everybody, honestly, in the business, like everybody in detail. And he's like, normally people just don't work that deep. And so, how like, and I just remember thinking, if it is to be, it's up to me or whatever. Right. And so, we all have different distributors in our group that let's admit it, they're nowhere near as committed as you are. They don't want it as bad as you do. Now, I don't mean micromanaging. We all need to go recruit. Absolutely. But also, have you really dug into them? Have you really done the steps with them? Have you gone through their list? I mean, I literally knew like people's prospects. I knew people's this, people's that, like all different, like all kinds of people's. And because I wanted it bad enough, and sometimes I would get frustrated that why didn't they? But, ultimately I had that business. So how committed are you to really digging like crazy deep in your organization or crazy deep with your new person and going through all those steps with those people when you find someone that could lead somewhere? So just really, because I talk to a lot of different people, and they just, they don't they just don't know a whole lot of what's going on in their group, to be honest, versus no, dig in. It is all part of your organization. Dig in and own it, whether you are enrolled in frontline or they're 10 levels or 20 levels deep. Does that make sense? So we love you guys. We're so excited. I'm just, pushed so hard for Elite Academy. We're very, very, very excited for those that are local. We're so excited to see you. Honestly, I was supposed to speak and I really wanted to be in person with everybody, that I said no. Like, we want to be with our team. We felt like that was more important. So, for those that can get together because that energy is incredible, and just see who else you can bring to the table. And let's have some amazing stories of some rockin' last minute invites that led to someone that blew this up for you. Okay. We love you guys. Bye.